What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. Today we have got some Project Resolve PTS Phase 2 developer notes, and this is something they've started to do to kind of give you a little bit of an update on what they thought, you know, with the last PTS, if it was any good, what they thought the best feedback was. And it's kind of an intermediate ground where we get a bit of an update before we get the fully fledged patch notes. We're going to hit them up. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe if you like this kind of video, and let's get straight into it. So I have already read these and I'm trying to hold back my comments, and I'll kind of comment as we go through because I have got a lot of comments. So first of all, they started off with hello agents, a little bit of a welcome. They're grateful about all the feedback following phase 2, and they want to share the findings and what the next steps are. And I assume the next steps are just that they're going to release it. It certainly doesn't feel like there's going to be another PTS. So weapons and talents. Behind you talent seems a bit too strong. Starting with TU20, the behind you talent will be exclusive to rifle and MMR weapons. This change was made to align with the intended design, as its wider availability on the PTS was an unintentional and considered a bug. We decided to limit the use of the talent to MMR and rifles only due to the talent being too strong paired with some other weapons. Now, I'm a little bit confused right off the bat with this, because it seems that obviously you could roll it on absolutely anything, and it was absolutely brilliant on some weapons. And was it too strong? I mean, it was crazy strong. It was crazy good. But limiting it to rifles and MMR, it just seems like a really weird choice. And I might be out by myself when I say this, but the fact you can put it on an MMR that can hit so strong, you know, the one tap potential, it seems to be that would be stronger than it on any other weapon. Like everything else, you kind of had to sacrifice. You had to perhaps take a decoy. You couldn't have a shield. You couldn't take a reviver hive. You had to kind of do something to adapt to be able to use the talent. It kind of gave a gameplay style, and I kind of like that. Now, was I on board with how strong it was? Actually, no. I think they're right. It was a bit too strong, but we're going to follow up a little bit now with what they said. Additionally, starting with TU20 release, the amplified damage will decrease from 40 to 15% for behind you, and from 60 to 20% for perfectly behind you. The adjustment in value is intended to align with the original intention of the damage being increased, but now has been modified to amplified. This change is not a nerf, but rather refinement to align with the intended behavior. The current implementation of the talent creates an imbalance, particularly in how amplified damage calculates damage compared to weapon damage. The initial values of 40/60 were suitable for weapon damage, but not compatible with amplified damage. To address this, we have adjusted the values to ensure that amplified damage functions as intended. So we basically had it at amplified damage, but they meant them values to be weapon damage. So basically they've kept it amplified damage, you know, because that's all we've ever seen, but they've reduced it in a huge proportion, an absolute huge proportion. Now, I'm already thinking, and I hate to make the videos where I'm, you know, it's negative, but we seem to be developing a kind of trend where something's good in the PTS, or maybe overpowered in the PTS, and then when it comes to live, it's so underpowered that it's just not worthwhile in using, and we end up sticking into the same old. Now, I'm not saying behind you should be the reason we should change this, or behind you's the talent where this should change. And behind you might still be good. Obviously, this is just notes, and it's sometimes really hard to judge just off reading notes. But what I'm worried about is we're going through the same kind of cycle where behind you will just come in and be another dead talent, and we stick with, you know, what we already have. I'm already beginning to feel like that is that low that flatline is just better anyway, you know, in some cases. So it's a worrying change, and that's, you know, what you've got to understand is I'm not saying that behind you should have stayed in its current value. It was very, very strong, but did it need to be taken down so extreme? Because there was, you know, it did inhibit your play style. I probably think that's a bit too much, and I think that might just be dead, you know, as it arrives. They seem to have done the same here with the Ortiz Assault Interface talent. Starting with TU20, the amplified damage will decrease from 75 to 40% for highlighted body sections. The problem with that was that enemies ran behind cover and the leg was highlighted, and the highlighting was really hard to see. The talent's useless anyway, so that being that high for that rifle, I really didn't seem to think, you know, would have made that much damage. It's an MMR. MMR's keeping behind you anyway. You had to play scoped in. I kind of think that could have been, you know, less of a change as well. I feel like whoever got a hold of that really went in with the banhammer on a Monday, on a Monday morning, and they'd not yet had the coffee. It's a bit of a shame, but hopefully it's still good. The gear, the rugged gauntlets, these were terrible, absolutely terrible. We know, absolutely useless. Initially, the intention was for Iron Grip talent to give stability and accuracy bonus. Interesting. However, a bug caused the accuracy bonus to malfunction, resulting in the gloves feeling underpowered on the PTS. That's interesting. We have since resolved this issue, and the gloves should now function as originally intended, with both stability and accuracy bonuses. The gloves didn't read stability and accuracy, if I remember correctly, though. It was about hip firing and firing, blind firing. So maybe they've had a complete rework. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Hunter's Fury. So because of all the, I already know what this is going to say. Let's read it. The 3-piece bonus was changed from 100% health on kill to 50% health on kill. The adjustment is implemented to maintain a sense of balance, considering the introduction of the additional health bonuses on brand sets. As a result, the viability of health on kill is also enhanced. And basically, Hunter's Fury was really, really good, and they basically had to cut it in half because of, you know, all the other gear that's coming into the game, which has in turn hurt Hunter's Fury. It's a shame. It is where it is. 50% still good. This is probably a good change. You know, you're not going to be invincible like you were pretty much unless you was against Black Tusk. So this is kind of a good change. Is it, you know, is 50% too much? Maybe, maybe not, you know, but we'll see. It certainly doesn't feel as harsh as the behind you stuff, that's for sure. And when I say harsh, these are changes. This is a PTS, it was a test server. These have never been in the live game, so it's not harsh in that sense. It's just harsh in the sense of what it was on the PTS. Vindicate a lot behind Descent. Currently the plan is exclusively available in Descent. This might change over time, but anytime soon. I kind of understand that. All games do that. The gear lock is not needed. The gear lock was just kind of all over the place. It never really worked as intended. It kind of unworked in places and did work and didn't. It was a bit of a mess. In PTS Phase 2, we initially took a more extensive approach on this topic. Based on your feedback, we have reconsidered and we're returning to the drawing board. This is great news. Following the launch of the TU20, gear lock will continue to function in the same manner as it did in TU19. However, we maintain a positive perspective on the inclusion of gear lock and recognise its importance in conflict. That said, we are actively reintroducing it beyond spawn areas, exclusively in conflict, starting with TU 20.1. This is good. It really need a lot of work. The implementation just didn't work. It kind of read like it could have worked, and then when it actually came to playing it and using it, it was terrible. So yeah, that's good. Thank you for partaking in the PTS, and please do keep your thoughts on coming. So the gear change, so the patch notes are what I'm really interested in reading, but my take from this is that that's been hit really, really hard to, you know, the behind you talent. the gear wasn't that interesting that was coming in this next season. The Ortiz was one of the most, you know, exciting things in there, and you know, I think that it was kind of fine for some things to be too strong and the meta to maybe change a little bit, you know, and maybe, you know, I'm a big fan that these seasons should bring bigger changes to how we play the game, especially why we're not getting content, you know, to the extent of, you know, just manhunts. If a season comes along, I would like quite a drastic change to make how I play. Not to have to farm loads of gear again and re-optimize everything and do anything silly like that, but just to make me play a little bit different, you know. And if behind you was going to be the talent that, you know, of this season, and then it got taken down next season, well, that's fine. But, you know, that's just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments down below. That's going to be it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, agents. Goodbye.